सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
No discussion of the Bhagavad Gita is complete without speaking of renunciation. What is renunciation? Renunciation is not giving up things that you value. It is growth. It's moving up to higher, more fascinating, more enjoyable things. This is something not foreign to you. You've seen it in your own life. From the day you were born till the time you became an adult, you have been practicing renunciation. The only difference is it was automatic, it was unconscious. Now you've got to make it conscious. So, from the time that you were an infant, you were a person of great renunciation. It was a period of amazing growth, mind-boggling achievement, tremendous drive and motivation. So all you need to do is revive this spirit of renunciation. Look back into your own life, or you may not remember your life, but see others. See an infant lying on its back, looking up at the ceiling. It has only a rattle to entertain itself with. But it doesn't stay there. From a wailing infant to this wonderful adult that you are, you had that drive to move to higher things. You were not content with what you had. So that infant on its back struggled, made effort, explored, and reached out to turn over. And then a whole new world opened up for it. It didn't rest content there. It struggled to move ahead, to crawl, to sit up, to stand, to walk, to run, and all the other things that we have experienced. So, this was a period of exponential growth. But now, as a full-grown adult, you want to maintain status quo. There is no drive, there is no motivation to improve, to go ahead, to move to higher and more fulfilling avenues. That is the tragedy. So, renunciation is not giving up, it is taking up the higher. What do we mean by the higher? Most of us are content with just sense contact, and we indulge in sense contact. If we want to improve or enhance our happiness, we want more of sense objects, more sense contact. But it's self-limiting. The quality of happiness cannot improve much. In fact, it diminishes. The law of diminishing returns functions. Then you move up to emotional joy. And when you have access to both emotional and physical joys, you yourself choose emotional over physical. Which means what? That emotional gives you more joy than physical. Just now before the lecture commenced, somebody came and gave me chocolate. And I said, thank you, I didn't eat, I put it away. I probably will go back and give it to someone who will enjoy that chocolate more than me. But What I'm trying to say is, if you gain emotional joy from giving that chocolate away, and that joy content is much more than the physical joy of eating it yourself, then you will opt for the higher, for the emotional. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't enjoy chocolate or anything physical for that matter. But you've moved up to the emotional and you're functioning at the emotional level. Go a step further. Pick up an intellectual idea. In the US, 1 year, I go every year, and I'm about to go in April this year. I met a couple who had organized a lecture in their home. So when I went there, the husband wasn't there, and the wife was sitting there bitterly complaining about the husband, that he never comes, he doesn't care for her, he doesn't care for the children, and so on and so forth. Later I realized, I came to know, that this man was a brilliant chemist on the verge of a Nobel Prize. So he's so immersed in his intellectual pursuit that his wedding anniversary or birthday or any of that fades into insignificance. Physical joys don't matter to him. He is in a state of abstraction, absorption in something that gives him so much joy that he gives up the lower. So he's renounced the lower. Then you take that quantum leap into the realm of the spiritual, and that is so satisfying and so gratifying that you couldn't care less for anything in the world. It's not that you couldn't care less. It's just that the world no longer tempts you, no longer enchants you, no longer has that hold over you. This is renunciation. So, renunciation is not dispossession. It's not giving up the things that you possess. It is giving up the possessive attitude towards your possession. Once you do that, it is all possession. You don't need to possess anything. You consider the whole world as yours. Renunciation is not life denying. It is life enabling. If you don't practice renunciation, actually renunciation is not to be practiced. Renunciation is the result of the 3 yogas that we discussed yesterday: karma, bhakti and jnana yogas. Renunciation is not giving up action. It is giving up the impediments to action. The impediments to action are desire and ego. The moment desire and ego come into play, your action gets impoverished. It's like when you're exercising. Let's say you are used to getting up early in the morning and going jogging. When you jog in Mumbai, you get drained of energy because of what? Heat and humidity. High humidity, high heat. You go to a place where the humidity levels are lower and it's not so hot, you are extremely energetic. So desire and ego function like that. Once you drop this desire and ego, you get creative. Pandit Dinkar Kaikini, an outstanding musician and fabulous composer, used to say that at a low level, you perform what is known as recollective action. Some point in time in your life, you came up with brilliant action. You flash back to that and try to copy it. But it doesn't work because there is no spirit behind that action. Slightly better than that is recreative, which means you have been extremely creative at some point in the past and you try to relive that experience. But it's still not good enough. What you need to be is creative at every moment. Look afresh at the same thing. Look at the same thing from a completely new perspective in the present moment. And that can happen only when you have renounced past worry, future anxiety. Renunciation is when your thought is on the higher and you continue to transact with the world. So, what confers renunciation is having the right value for what the world has to offer. Renunciation is intelligent waste disposal. If you go home this evening, or tomorrow Sunday, tomorrow morning, you take a look at your home, your kitchens, your wardrobes, your rooms. You'll find there is so much junk around. What I mean by junk is things that you have not used in the past so many months or years sometimes. They just collect dust and remain there. Why aren't you giving it up? Even though it's junk. Because you say, someday I might use it. So you keep it. Now what happens is, the junk collects in your home, and when you really want to find something that is valuable, you can't find it because it's all covered up with a lot of junk. So, same thing happens in the mind. You collect junk, useless things in the mind, get attached to them, and all these things hold you down. They peg you down. So, you're not able to take off into higher flights. You need to let go of things that you yourself have no value for. So, renunciation has nothing to do with your lifestyle, with how you live, what standard of living you have, nothing. Because renunciation is mental. Therefore, in the Bhaja Govindam, Shankaracharya says, so, yogaratova, bhogaratova, whether devoted to yoga, spiritual practice, or delighting in bhoga, sense enjoyment. Sangaratova, whether you're in company, or sanga vihinaha, in solitude. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam, one whose mind is resting on Brahman, such a person enjoys, revels, exalts. So, renunciation is not changing your wardrobe. It's not as easy as that. Renunciation is not giving up your families where already you don't want to keep them. Renunciation is not giving up your businesses because it's painful for you to handle. Renunciation is an internal attitude towards the things that you possess, towards your family members, towards things and beings in the world. It is having the right value for what the world has to offer, not a black market value that you have today. And renunciation prepares you for meditation because your mind is calm, your mind is free from desire, and when you meditate, meditation heralds self-realization. The last remnant of thought is removed through meditation, and what remains is Atman, Brahman.